Hello, guys. We are back with the last section. That's the data insight section. So let us start that. So you'll have 20 questions, 45 minutes. Okay. And we have integrated reasoning basically plus the data sufficiency. Okay. So let us now start. Okay. So a large philanthropy has the following. Okay. As the following policy regards request for funds. Any occasion the subject request will receive it in no later than 4 months. The response must take the form of granting a rejecting of the request or a solicitation of further information. Okay, so you can grant, reject, or more info, and 4 months. Such further information must be received by within 5 months. Once such further information received, reconsider in the beginning as if for a new submission, and then the whole process will start. Okay, all right. For request of the granted in accordance, select the maximum amount of time between receipt of the initial request and the granting of the request, given that no further information requirement was made by XYZ. Okay. Maximum amount of time given that exactly one solution was made by XYZ. Okay. So if there was no request, so receipt of the initial request, granting of the request. So initial request, then 4 months later, it gives you a response and then accepts the funds. Okay. Or 4 months later, asks for more information. 5 months later, it gets that information. 4 months later, again, it accepts. So 13, 13 and 4. So no solicitations required for this is 4 and 1 required. So that's 13. Next. Each dinner restaurant requires a pair of side dishes, chooses by selecting one of A and one of B. There are a total of 18 possible pairs of side dishes, and no side dish appears on both lists. Okay. If there are fewer side dishes on A than on B, there are a total of 9 on the two lists. Okay. So 18 possible pairs means if there are A numbers and B numbers, then one of them in A ways and one of these in B ways, A times B is 18. And there are a total of 9. So that means A plus B is 9. So A plus B is 9 and A into B is 18. So that's the only combination 6 and 3. Okay. There are a total of 3 side dishes on A. And there are 18 possible pairs. So that's also sufficient. There's 6 and 3. We know that A is smaller, right? So that means they're asking how many are on B. So it would be 6. And 3 on A. So 18 possible pairs to 6. So each statement alone. So that's option D. Table ranks the urgency of and the local expertise resources for various certain non-profit or environmental group is considering in order to address potential local effects of okay. Higher numbers indicate greater urgency, greater amounts of expertise, and greater amounts of resources. Okay. When comparing actions X and Y, X runs at least as high as Y by all three standards and higher than Y by one or more standards. Then X will take more priority. X ranks as high as Y by all three standards and higher than by y by at least one standard. Okay. So each of the following actions will take priority over action 4. Might not take okay. Will action 1 take priority over action 4? Okay. Or action 2 or action 3? Okay. All right. So for each of the actions given, you have to choose an option. So action 1, 3, 2, higher, 3, 2, higher, 1, 1 equal. So yes. So will take, 1 will take, sorry, no, might not take. Okay. 4 is higher, right? Okay. Action 2, 2, 2 same, 1, 2 higher, 2, 1 lower. So might not take. Action 3, 3 and 2 might not take. No, sorry. 1 minute. I read it wrong. Yeah, see here, higher numbers indicate greater urgency, greater amounts of expertise, and greater amounts of resources. Okay. So 1 versus 4, higher urgency, higher expertise, same resources. So 1 will take priority. 2 and 2 is same. 1 is lower, 2 is higher, might not take priority. 3, 3 and 2 higher, 1 and 2 is lower. Yeah, so it should be this. Next. A1, most employees included in at least some diversity. The following characters help to tend to help organization attract talent. A1, A2, valuable training, increased compensation, reputation of good teamwork. Okay. The following characteristics tend to help organizations retain talented employees. High employee satisfaction and commitment, employees with few alternative job possibilities outside the company that match. Okay. It's not clear how important each of these characteristics related to all others. Whether a characteristic that tends to attract candidates may also increase retention. How one or more manifests one or more. Okay. A researcher collected the following statements. Okay. Which represent samples of comments about the ballet company from dancers and staff at prestigious but relatively low paying European ballet company nation N. Okay. Dancer joined the company to enhance his profile. Dancers in pursuit of the goal working with the okay. Dancers have the position because it allows them to work in a will pay principal roles. Dancers stay with the company because of atmosphere. Okay. Because they enjoy participating and teaches style and approach. Okay. Data. Okay. The table will select an accurate information of the ballet company and the attributes of dancers, variables used by the company. Okay. In the tabs, which of the following is true? The ballet company in question pays its dancers more. No. Has fewer dancers from N than it has from other nations. and has more prestigious companies other than other European nations. Okay. The ballet company in question tends to have dancers who stay at the company longer on average than dancers stay at their companies. Yes, next. It's 4.6 and 3 years, right? That's right. All right, the last paragraph of the employment tab. And there was three questions that need for this. Select evidence in the interviews tab. If at least one of the interstatements in the image represents evidence that clearly supports an answer to that question, and no evidence. Okay. How important each of these characters is relative to others? Okay. Whether a character that tends to attract may also increase. Okay. So this is no evidence. How important is not mentioned. Yeah, so 3 and 4 B. Whether a characteristic that tends to attract can increase attention. Yes, this is there, evidence presented. And C is how one or more companies manifest one or more of these. And how one or more companies manifest one or more of these characteristics. Yeah, it is evidence provided. The reasons are given, right? How are they doing it? Next, employment tab. Select manifested if the interview tab indicates that the characteristic manifested by the question, valid company in question. Otherwise, select unknown. Okay. A1, including at least some decisions. Okay. If they're having principal dance roles, then they have been given yes. So manifested. A2, valuable training. So 5 yes, manifested. A3, increased compensation for excellent performance. Not no. Sheldon left his house. Okay, some DS finally. Okay, at 8:30 a.m. and drove, arriving at 11:30 a.m. So 3 hours. How many? He stopped twice. That's not enough. His average speed while he was driving was 96 kilometers per hour. We don't know how many times he's. I mean, we just know how long this stop. You don't know his duration of stopping. And his average speed is not overall. His average speed is while he was driving. So that means we don't know what is his overall average speed was. So it's not sufficient. E. Next one. and 1 and 7 deliver newspapers 7 consecutive in the sequence above. And I repeat number of newspapers delivered in the ith week. Okay. For each week after they deliver more newspapers in that week than in the preceding week. Okay. So they're asking is N2 bigger than N1 and so on. We have N1 smaller than N3. Okay, so is N2 bigger than N1? We don't know. Okay. We know that this is bigger, but what is this? I mean, it can always be something like 1, 7, 3, 11, 4, 21, 5. So N1, N3, N5, N7, N1, N3, N5, N7. But we can't say for each week is it true or not. Is 3 more than 7 now? N2, N4, N6, N7. N2, N4, N6, and N7. So N2 is, let us say, 2, 5, whatever, let's say 7, 9. Okay. Here, did you try this verse more than N1? Can't say. N4, is it bigger than N3? We can't say this could have been 10, for example. So not possible. Now combining both. N7 is the largest, so let's put it at 20, for example, randomly. N5, N3, and N1. N5 is, let us say, 15. N3 could be, let's say, 8. N1 could be, let's say, 1 or maybe 5. 5, 8, 15, 20. And N2 is less than N4, right? N2 is less than N4. So N2 could be 1, and then N4 could be 3, and N6 could be 7. 137 satisfies the second, satisfies the first. Is it true every time? Is N6 bigger than N5? No. Is this bigger than this? Yes. Is this bigger than this? No. So you can't answer right from this. So basically E again. All right. So we have 11 more. Okay. The graph shows the percent of each type of employee in a certain medical clinic. Okay. 97, 80, okay. 70, 80, and 10. Total number of employees in the clinic in 2000 was exactly twice of that in 1970. All right, so 1970, if it were 100 people, then here you have 200 people. Based on your select an option on in which so that the selected options together create a ratio closest to the ratio described in the statement. The ratio of number of physicians in the clinic in 1970. Physicians is this 60.9 to the number of physicians in 2010, 100, right? So is approximately, oh, so that's 6 by 10, 1 to 1.6, or basically 3 to 5, right? 60%, so that's 3/5. So 3 to 5. Last week, in a certain comedian had an audience of 120 people for each of the afternoon and 190 people for each of the evening. What was the average number of people in an audience? The comedian only gave afternoon and evening performances. Okay. So 120 in each afternoon and 195 in each evening. Okay. The comedian gave 3 more evening performances. You have got E is A plus 3. That's not enough, right? Because it would be an expression then. I mean, for example, I mean, it could have been like 4 and 1. We will be dividing by 5. It could have been 2 and 5, then you'll be dividing the total by 7. So not sufficient. You gave twice as many evening as afternoon. So E is 2A. So when you multiply and divide it by A plus 2A, the A will cancel out because everything is a multiple of A and you will get an answer. So statement 2 is sufficient, not 1. Next, agro enterprises. All right, we have 25 minutes for 10 questions. Okay. Agro currently uses an antiquated database system, upgrading with a model amount, whereas upgrading to innovative cutting edge costs more. The standard system is sufficiently energy efficient that it would pay for itself in 10 years, but no sooner as compared to the cost of keeping the current system. Okay. The annual savings in operational costs offered by the innovative system would cause system to pay for its purchases in 5 years, but it would be no more energy efficient than the current system. Any of the three systems would be able to function for the next 20 years. Standard contemporary system for the option that the passage most strongly suggests is true. And select innovative cutting edge system for the option the passage most is true of the innovative. Okay. Standard system costs the greatest total amount of money during 11 years of operation, less energy efficient than either of the two. No, the most energy, no, costs agro on an average less per year to operate. Because yes, it will pay for itself in 10 years, right? That means what? It's saving money. So costs on average more than an innovative one is not energy efficient than the current system. Yeah, so this one. So it is not less energy efficient, it could be equal as well. So it is these two options. So let us just mark them. The 50 participants. Okay, so all right. 50% management training seminar. It is the three choices of meat. Okay, vegetarian for $12, catfish for 15, or pork for 18. One meal. The total cost of the meals was 810. Okay, 12x 12x plus 15y plus 18z is 810, and x plus y plus z is 50. How many participants offered C? Why? They are asking for this. Why? Six more people ordered catfish than. Okay, so we have got one equation, we have got the second equation, and we know the third one is y is 6 plus, what's lasagna? Which one is the x? Okay. So if I plug in that here, I am going to get two equations which will work out, right? Y 6 plus x, if I plug in here, then I'll get 2x plus z is something. And y 6 plus x, if I plug in here, 15 times x would be 15x plus 12x. So that's 27x plus 18Z is something here. They are not the same ratio, right? Like it's not exact multiple. So you have two different equations can be solved. Twice as many pork chop meals were ordered as catfish meals. Okay. Now the pork chops Z is 2 times catfish means Y. Z is 2Y. If I plug in that, X plus 3Y is 50. Z is 2Y. So 36Y, 36 plus 15 would be 51. 12x plus 51y is something. Again, sufficient. So each statement is sufficient by itself. All right, the flow chart shows the procedure of preparing 4 traditional Nigerian foods. Okay, from all right, fine. All right. So the options that create the statement that is most strongly supported by the information. Preparing each of the foods except for which one involves. Okay, everyone has to be clean. Okay, then boil, stir to liquefy, boil. You don't have to boil. All right. But this also does not have to be boiled. All right, stir to liquefy, adding condiments, add condiments, add condiments. Okay, you have to add condiments in everything except for Eva, right? So except for Eva, adding condiments. Next, an historian, unlike many artistic traditions, has sought to depict plants native to a local area reasonably appropriate. For example, depicting scenes of spring when plants in the what? Depicting scenes of spring with the plants in the appropriate stages of the season. Okay. 17th does specializing flower paintings when it chose to depict exotic species of flowers from outside the local group. Painting such species was worthwhile primarily with the art buying public that would a strong preference in the exotic. The great botanic centers of the time gave the artist direct access to such flowers, with the artist would freely combine a single whether the combined species together occurred, and regardless, regardless bloom at the same time. The art historians makes the point that the species of flowers these Dutch artists chose to paint were exotic. They got a strong preference for the images of the exotic. Okay. Accessible. The company processes boxes at a different number of dimensions based on the dimensions of the boxes. The company classifies all of them into categories A, B, C. The table lists some examples of boxes. They dimension the classification categories. Okay. Okay. It is consistent with the information. Otherwise, select no. No box that has total volume of 1,000 or more is in A. All right. Let's quickly compute. 640. That's gonna be 288 times 8 will be more than 1,000. Okay. Obviously. That's 800. That's 480. That's 160, 1280, 1280, 600. 144 times 16 is greater than 1000. Yeah, okay. All right. No box that has a volume of 1000 or more is in category A. No. Only boxes of which sum of length, width, and height is less than 50 centimeter. All right. The sum 16 plus 10, 26, 20, 44, 28, 24, 34, 34, 26, 40. Only boxes, the sum of this is less than 50 are in category A. Boxes which are less than 50 are in category A. Only if less than 50 will be in category A. So that means if it is category A, it has to be less than 50, which is true. Yes. Okay. No box whose longest side is greater than 20 is in B. Longest side is greater than 20. You have something greater than 20. It is still in B. So that's no. All right. So let's mark them. Mark the answers. All right. All right, 13 minutes. Okay, town park director has specified that for every three aspen trees in the downtown, there will be exactly two birds. Okay, so three aspen, two birds, four fir trees, while for every one large, three spruce, two aspen. Okay, this is the same aspen only, birds and fir, and large spruce and aspen. Okay, there are 12 aspen, eight birch, firs 15, larch is 8, spruce is 18. Reducing the number of trees are exactly one of those types, and increasing the number of trees are exactly one of the other types. Which one has to be reduced and which one has to be increased? Okay, if it's just 8, so let's just figure out the values. This 8, then 24, then 16. S has to be 24, A has to be 16. So both have to be reduced. Okay. So that means we can't make this as 8. Okay. All right. Then aspen, if I make it 12, no, aspen is there in both places, right? So if I, let's say, take B8, two fours are, so that's 12, 16. So that means this also is not working out. All right. If L is, S is 18. So let's make this 18. So 6 times. So that would be, and if A is 12, so this is 4 times. So 8, 16. So A is 12, it's okay. B is 8 is okay. This is, you have to reduce, you have to increase, and this is okay. All right. So this is the number you need to increase this to make it 16. So F has to be increased. Okay. And you already have L at 6. L should be 6. You have 8. So you need to reduce. So L has to be reduced. All right. Let's mark the answers. All right. The cost of a certain school was 16 for each child and 24 for each adult. Ratio of children to adults. Okay. The ratio of the cost of the trip. All right. Total cost of children to total cost of adults. 16C to 24A is given. So from there, C is to A will get so sufficient. The total cost of the trip for together was this is 2200. How many children and how many adults is not there? Let's just try to see whether we have integer solutions. 4 will cancel. 8 will cancel. 2C, 3A, 8, 8, 2 is 16. 275. All right, so 2C plus 3A is 275. There can be lots of combinations for C and A which work. So 2 is not sufficient. You will not get an integer solution, that is like many solutions will come. So only A. So let's just mark that. Next. So 9 more minutes, 18 three questions. Okay. The graph represents the daily deviation in degrees of the high temperature state. All right. Data governance design case deviations for the class center at T includes all deviations greater than or equal to T minus 2, but less than T plus 2. Okay. The class centered at T, this one, includes all observed deviations greater than or equal to T minus 2 or less than T plus 2. Okay, so that means this is ranging from minus 14 to minus 10. This is minus 10 to minus 6 and so on. All right. 10 is not inclusive, 14 is inclusive. Okay. The height of represents number of deviations. A given day's high temperature is x degree less than the seasonal if it is x degree Fahrenheit less than the left endpoint centered at 0. Okay, one second. Let's read that again. The height of each point represents number of deviations. A given day's high temperature is x degree less than seasonal if it is x degree Fahrenheit less and the left endpoint of the class centered at 0. And the high temperature is x degree Fahrenheit greater if it is x degree greater than the right endpoint. Okay, so if it's this side or it is this side. Okay. From each problem, select the option that creates the most accurate statement. For a randomly selected day in its 100-day period. Okay. So these are number of days, I guess. So 34, 34, 68, 27 would be 95 and 5. Yeah. The probability of the high temperature was more than 4 degree Fahrenheit less. Okay. So that means from here onwards, probability would be 12 plus 2, 14, 14 over 100, 0.14. And the high temperature was more than 8 degree Fahrenheit. It's 6 degree Fahrenheit less than the seasonal if it is less than the left endpoint of the class. And the high temperature is greater than the seasonal, which is x degree greater than the right endpoint. 8 degree less than the seasonal. 8 degree less than the seasonal and 4 degree less than the seasonal. Okay, both on this side. 8 degree means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 out of 100. All right, let's just check 0.14 and 0.02. Okay, two more questions, 6 minutes. In certain set of carnival games, the probability of game being won is perfectly negatively correlated. Okay, probability of the game being 1 is negatively equal to the value of the reward. Okay. Game 1 has the second highest probability of being 1. Game 1 is the second highest probability. Game 2 has the second lowest probability. The value of the rewards of games 4 and 6 are between the values for games 1 and 2. So they're saying probability is negatively correlated to the reward. So high reward means low probability. So 4 and 6, okay, 5 has a lower value than 2. If 5 has a lower value than 2, that means 5 has a higher probability than 2. So 5 is somewhere here. No two games have the same probability, okay. 4 and 6 are between 1 and 2. That means this is 5, this is 4 and 6. And what's left? 3. Highest, the game with the highest probability is G5, and the lowest probability is G3. All right, we are down to the last question. We hopefully have the time. All right, corporation has 3 divisions, ABC. Okay, ABC, ABC, ABC. All right. For each quarter, another capture the person who got total profit through the end of that quarter from 3 divisions. Okay, end of that quarter. All right. First, second, third quarter. In each of the quarters, each division has an increase in net profit. Profit has increased. All right. So the option that gives the most accurate statement. So if this is 100 and this made 20 rupees profit, 50 rupees profit, and 30 rupees profit, then this must be more than 100. This is like almost half, right? This must be like almost around 200. And so, okay, so if this is 100 and this is maybe 120, then this would be maybe 190s kind of, and this is in just a little lower, right? So this should be in between, right? So maybe 150 types. All right, let's see the options. It must be that in the this quarter division net profit more than doubled. Okay, so from first to the third, it's more than it's almost doubled. This is 30%. That's more than 60%. It did more than double, but then okay, let's just confirm with the others. We can't say that for division A anywhere as such. Okay, we can't say it for division B either. So it is slightly more, and in fact, it's decreased. And here it is like very almost the same. It's not doubled. The only doubling can happen with division C, just to be sure of that. Yeah, let's just mark that. No. Okay. Then the prior quarter. Okay. Yeah, yeah. So second quarter D. Second quarter division C has doubled. No. Uh, in the third quarter, yeah. it has almost doubled. Yes, okay. Second quarter, division C's profit has more than doubled. Okay.